I was born in Flint, Michigan. When I was 12 or so, I occasionally would go to a church with a friend, but then at least one or two friends of mine were molested. I started looking into alternatives, and so I discovered a Satru and pretty much converted to heathenry. In 2004, I was on the internet one night, and Stormfront would actually come up, and the old white nationalist group, Prussian Blue, and April Gady. April's well known in the movement. Her daughters were 12 years old, and they had this little white nationalist band called Prussian Blue. I ran across a blog. This blog that he had wrote, he was trying to get black men to go to the house of Lynx and Lamb Gady in order to have the black men rape them. When I met them, I was like, well, these people actually don't seem as bad as you might think they are. And I became a friend of the family. It took quite a while before I would consider myself a white nationalist. She ended up suggesting I sign on to Stormfront, and I did. And unfortunately, the rabbit hole went from there. I was heathen, so I was already predisposed towards an ethnocentric path. I ended up taking a vacation up to Kalispell, Montana, which is where April and her family had moved. They started Pioneer Little Europe Kalispell. The point is to recruit people with similar politics as you to come to the Kalispell area and slowly change the politics of the area by bringing in new people. I was getting deeper and deeper involved. I pretty much became the lead recruiter. When you surround yourself with white nationalists, you start to internalize some of their beliefs. They were doing things like having Hitler movies in the theater or in the library basement. My job was to normalize it, was to help make white nationalism more acceptable. Around the time that Anders Breivik over in Norway decided to murder all those kids, their argument was always, but they were communists. They wanted to hide any connection between Stormfront and Breivik. Staff on Stormfront was basically told, delete everything that people post that's supportive of Breivik. But he was a Stormfront member. I was a staff member. That's when I first wondered, what the hell am I doing in this? I was like, I'm around people that are cheering on murder of children. But even then, unfortunately, that wasn't enough to get me out. One thing you always got to remember, I was probably in my own little bubble also when it came to the movement, because, you know, I had my own views of what the movement should be. So I didn't want the movement to be what the movement really is, which is, you know, violent. I wanted it to be fun and, you know, barbecues. Through the entire time in the movement, yes, I raged every single time there was a mass shooting or anything like that, but I also wore blinders, and my blinders were basically like, if that's happening somewhere else, that's not connected to me and what I do at all. My last straw was when a young man named David Lenio, he was recruited by April. One day I was looking in the newspaper and I saw that David Lenio had been arrested because he went onto Twitter and threatened to shoot local kids. He threatened to shoot his kids also. When it's actually in your community, you can't wear those blinders. When he got arrested, I was like, I'm done. I'm not white nationalist anymore. I realized I didn't need to just disengage. Something had to be done. And so I contacted Montana Human Rights Network. It is a horrible idea to join the movement. If you're going in looking for community, you're not going to find it. There's always going to be conflict. It's just nonstop conflict. There are so many reasons to not get involved in any sort of extremism. It's just better to not get involved, not follow that path in the first place.